This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, March 4th. I have the pregnancy pillow from Sam.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Is your back hurt?
No, but maybe I'll keep it. All right, I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay, and I'm Tori. Let's get right to it. Voters in 14 states headed to the polls for Super Tuesday, and it was super indeed for Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders didn't do too shabby either. Let's take a look at a map with the results. Biden swept the South. I mean, just dominated, winning 9 states, including North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. Sanders won 4 states total, including his home state, Vermont. He's also claiming victory in California. It's going to be some time, though, before we know who actually won the most delegates, but we know they both picked up a fair amount. And this just in, Michael Bloomberg dropped out this morning after what many are calling a Super Tuesday flop. Bloomberg threw his support behind Biden, tweeting, "Defeating Trump starts with uniting the candidate with the best shot to do it." Now we're just waiting to hear from Elizabeth Warren, who also didn't get the Super Tuesday support she had hoped for. Will she drop out today and endorse a Joe Biden too, or Bernie Sanders? Just a quick button on that. How did everyone feel? I was shocked. Biden didn't even have staff in some of these places, and he walloped Sanders.
I think I'm the most shocked. I think a week ago, Biden was on political life support, and now we're praising him as the most illustrious candidate. Like, what?
But he doubled down, tripled down on that black vote. I mean, 66% in my home state of Virginia, and then more than 70% in Alabama.
Huge
on the black
turnout.
Vote. And Alabama has the largest population of black voters in all Super Tuesday states.
Yeah. Joy Reid said something interesting. Good for you. Joy Reid said when Bernie didn't show up at the Selma March commemoration, it was a big deal to a lot of black voters down there. So interesting to see. Let us know what you think on Facebook or YouTube. But speaking of Biden, there's a moment from his rally yesterday that has everyone talking. Protesters rushed the stage, but his wife and campaign advisor, I love her, Simone, fought them off. Take a look. Okay, so there's a lot going on there. If you don't know, Jill Biden, I think we have a photo. She lunged to protect her husband. Look at this. Yeah. That is a great photograph. And finally, I will also say that Simone Sanders is the woman you see literally rush up like a tackler and take down this protester, because if you didn't know, Vice President Biden, former Vice President Biden, does not have Secret Service at this point.
And the thing is, they were protesting dairy farming. Like, I don't know if that's a reason to run up on stage. It seems very extreme.
They've done it again and again. They're called the Lunging Vegans, which would make a good band name. Yeah, and it's all over Twitter, the Lunging Vegans.
This is
it's really not funny.
I just worry. Yeah, it's not funny, and it's like we could be doing a much different story today if there was Secret Service, because you have to make a split-second decision as to whether this person has a gun on them, which we've seen. Reagan was shot close range.
Robert F. Kennedy.
Robert F. Kennedy in a situation very much like that on the podium. Correct.
So that's what they're calling it. Robert Gibbs, Obama's former press secretary, has now asked Donald Trump to enforce that Biden gets security around the clock, because this could have been a much different situation. And really quick, we have Biden here doing something strange with a baby. He sniffed the baby.
It's that good baby oil. Baby oil.
Baby is a good smell.
Babies do smell good.
I know, but just get back up. Like, just say hello, baby.
But
no, come on. Just be like, oh my God, cute little baby. You don't have to put your nose in the hand.
Maybe he's just up. Maybe it's like, because it's supposed to be shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yeah.
Now it's just shaking hands, smelling babies.
Now, in the coronavirus age, just say hi, baby.
And just move on. Well, we are, speaking of the coronavirus, turning to the latest on the coronavirus around the world. There are more than 100 confirmed cases in the U.S. and 90,000 people infected globally. So far, 9 people have died in America. And now the World Health Organization says the coronavirus is deadlier than the flu. No doubt the coronavirus is taking over social media, and there's one person who may actually lose her job over a post. So check this out. This is Denver Councilwoman Candy C. DeBaca. She retweeted a post threatening to deliberately infect Trump supporters with the coronavirus. The tweet said, quote, "For the record, if I do get the the coronavirus. I'm attending every MAGA rally I can. And she captioned the retweet with solidarity, yes. Now, there are a lot of people out there calling for her resignation. I want to get to the panel on this. She is not in charge of the Democratic Party here in Colorado, but she is a voice, and I think her voice is absolutely disgusting, horrific, and needs to be called out. I really do. Do I want her to be fired? I don't know, but
I think if the common person understands that coronavirus has changed from something that we were like, you know, maybe being silly about to now something that's really take a look at. We even see our officials that don't know exactly what's going on, that are giving us new information every single day, to be in a leadership position and saying this is really inappropriate.
Outrageous,
so
right?
At the first thing she needs to do is apologize, probably immediately, if she can't see that this is already wrong.
Well, unfortunately, her spokesperson doubled down and sort of underplayed it and said, look, this was just sarcastic. What do you take from that?
I think 5 years ago, yes, she's done. She's gone, but I don't think we've said many times on this panel there are no more rules anymore. There's absolutely no rules. Stephen Miller is the president's whatever
advisor.
Yes, he's in the White House. He got caught with 900 white nationalist emails that were caught on his server. He didn't deny it, and he's still getting a check from all of us. I think that would have been the biggest scandal in political history. It barely made page 6.
Right.
So I think that to now act like we're outraged is gone. We cannot use that word anymore. There are no rules. This is backyard wrestling somewhere in a random neighborhood. So let's just act like it, and let's stop acting like there are any political rules anymore, because decorum is dead. So let's begin to acclimate to our new surroundings.
Okay, so there's no rules, but I still want to call out the hypocrisy, because I'm sure that if you go back to some of her tweets and you go back to what something Trump has said or someone else politically has said, whether it's racially motivated or just something outlandish, she's going to go crazy over that. She's going to be, oh, you should be impeached for that, or you can't talk like that. So for her to come out and to tweet something like that or retweet it, right. But she still hashtag solidarity and yes, you know what you mean when you did yes. Wow. It's just the hypocrisy. So
I mean, it's sad. I wish we were politics were civil enough where we would this would be a deal breaker, but it's not. It's a sad,
but again,
sad day.
We all agree, Democratic, Republican, you don't do that to Americans.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think we do anything now. I don't think there are any rules anymore.
Well, I'm trying to bring back decorum, even though you think it's dead.
I know once you're there, how do you come back from that?
Well, we try with stability, and that I think is what the pendulum is swinging with Biden. That's what I think.
I don't know where this pendulum is.
I love the pendulum.
It's in the attic.
We want to take a moment now to let Nashville know we are thinking about them after the deadly tornadoes. At least 24 people were killed. Many were just sleeping when the storm hit. Crews are still searching for survivors. Dozens were injured, and many buildings were either damaged or destroyed. We're hearing from one couple who survived the tornado as it hit their house. They took cover in a bathtub. Let's take a look.
It was this deep roar, grumbling sound that I've never heard before. We were flying in the air into the trees back there, where once we hit those trees, the house exploded. The house just disintegrated.
Oh my God, and country singer Carrie Underwood is talking about what it was like to be away from her family, who was in Nashville when the tornadoes hit. Let's take a look.
And I'm like texting people I know, and I'm like asking my husband, like, everybody's good? Is everybody we know? Right? Yeah, he said he had to go upstairs at like 2 a.m. and grab the boys and take them down to, we have like a little safe room in our house. And I was like, I bet everybody was crying. No, it's 2 a.m., like freaking out.
Wow.
And you know how tragedy brings communities together. The Nashville Predators, the hockey team, yesterday they opened up their arena and served pizza for those who were affected by the tornadoes. Their first home game is going to be Thursday. So you know what happens when tragedy turns into triumph. I can think that arena is going to be shaking.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are thinking about you. If you are in Nashville and you watch our show, write in YouTube, Facebook. We'd love to hear from you and how it is on the ground there. We have some crazy body cam video to show you of 2 New Jersey troopers pulling a man from a semi-truck, and I mean just in the nick of time before the whole thing explodes. Let's take a look.
Truck's on fire, driver's inside. Go! You all right? All right. Are you all right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was in the nick of time, as you saw. That is when you have training takes over. That's muscle memory. And that's the goodness of our EMTs and our fire rescue and our first responders. And I know Denver watches, so hi, Denver Fire. I know you guys, Shay, you guys are big watchers and fans, but that's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why they do this. That's why they practice over and over again, and it seems like it's ad nauseum. But Brandon, I mean, I kind of think that you would be able to speak to this with pro football. You have to be able to just react. You can't think about the route you're supposed to run because you've done it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing about to get hit by a linebacker at 240 pounds, but running to the roar like that, running into an explosion to pull somebody out, that takes a different type of courageousness right there. Right. So, I mean, thank you to, like you said,
there was the troopers,
that's right.
Yeah,
our troopers, our servicemen and women.
And I love when we do stories like this to highlight the best of what we have, and just show what they're doing.
There's a lot of good out there.
There is a lot of
Definitely.
good. All right, let us know how you guys are doing. We are live up here.
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Cool. Coming up, Rob Riggle is channeling Indiana Jones and telling me all about his new show that has him going all over the world in search of adventure. And you, the viewer, you're our fifth host. How young is too young for kids to stay home alone? It's been a debate forever, and now we're tackling it and sharing your comments coming up next.
This
have you all ever been put in a situation where you had to run to the roar?
Oh, yes.
Help someone before?
And I pretended to be a doctor.
Oh, yes. You had the situation on the plane?
Yeah. It was a great time. I love it.
A girl my freshman year of college had a severe asthma attack, and I picked her up, and firemen carried her to the nurse's office where her inhaler was, and I remember being able to hear her breathe, in my ear.
It's so scary.
Oh,
because you're like this.
I had her like this.
Oh wow.
You know, like
dragging?
No, I had her like you would hold like
cradle.
a big dog.
Yeah,
you know, like that.
Yeah.
And so like my arms were on fire, but I remember like because her head was right here, I could hear her breathe.
It's very vivid.
You could hear like how she couldn't get breath, so it's like there's this weird thing that kind of kicks in where your adrenaline and like. You know, I dang near needed an inhaler when I got there.
For yourself, yeah.
Yeah, but I just remember, like, if I stop, I'm not going to be able to pick her back up because my arms were so...
And you have, I think, adrenaline and cortisol, like, crushing through your veins at that point.
Yes, there's definitely something
Super
to that.
strength.
Human beings have this weird thing where, almost like they say cats sleep all day and they just use their energy at, like, 7-second bursts a couple times a day. I mean, it's kind of like that, where you just have this weird thing.
It is weird, and I was going to say that some people get tunnel vision. I don't know if you know what that is. Like, there was a trooper we did, remember, a 5-year-old boy was choking, I believe? Yes. No. It was like a 5-month-old on the side of the road, and when the trooper got there, he just goes, I'm taking him to the hospital. It's closer than the ambulance.
That. It was the 2 black women on the side of the road.
And his decision saved the life, but it's almost just like things get really tight and really secure, and you don't second-guess yourself. You're like, I'm making this decision, and I'm not waiting, because the waiting can kill you.
Right.
So, amazing job to our troopers.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, well done.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host. Well, we know what could go wrong when you leave an 8-year-old all by themselves based on the classic movie Home Alone. He was 8?
There was a lot of holes in that movie.
There was a lot of holes in that movie. Now the debate is about a parenting style that actually promotes this. It's called free-range parenting, like chicken. It's when young kids are presented with early opportunities to become more independent by taking public transportation or staying at home all by themselves. However, most states don't have laws regarding age limits for this. So we need to hear from the DBL Nation. At what age can children be left home alone, and should there be laws for this?
Okay, Susan from Facebook says, no child should be left alone until they are teenagers. It's scary to think what could happen to younger kids left alone at home. Listen, I hope it's not Susan, my mom, because you left me home. It is my mom on Facebook. But I have an older sister, and we were always just left at home. I feel like our neighbors were our second parents.
What's the age difference between you and your sister?
She's 3 years older than me, so maybe she was 11 and I was 8. But either way, if we screamed and had a friend over, the neighbor would come down and come knock on our door. Why y'all screaming?
Right.
I mean, it was that.
You were raised by the village.
Yeah, everybody in our neighborhood. And my mom would tell them she was leaving, so everybody would look at me. I mean, a boy pulled up. My mom would know who came over earlier. So there was no running around doing anything.
Get your story straight.
Gotta Gotta get it together.
All right. Jamie from Twitter says, kids are fine these days with their iPads, cell phones. I'm for teaching them to be more self-sufficient. This is from my mother, who wrote to me. She says it's economic reasons also factor in appropriateness. Says depends on family maturity of the kids. She says you and Mike were 10 and 8 You were 10 and 8 and got left home after school until Keisha, my older sister, got home from cross country.
So 10 and 8. So
10
you were,
and 8,
wow.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
There we go. And also, like, you did have a solid family structure. Like, I'm sure you know if you messed up, Mom and Dad were coming home eventually. So that's a factor.
I was kind of a bad kid.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell.
I would have no idea.
Valerie, that's my favorite auntie. Valerie from Facebook says, it really depends on the kids. Kids are so different, but I feel anything younger than 10 years old is way too young. Valerie, I'd agree with you on that, but mostly I'd agree that every kid is so different. I honestly feel, this might be the naive parent of me, my kids are 13 and about to be 12, and they wouldn't do anything. My son would be on his iPad the whole time.
Your daughter's very responsible.
Yes, they wouldn't do anything, but I've known kids, and as somebody that taught middle school with those ages, I know kids that should not be alone at all. Even when they're asleep. So it depends on the kid.
All right, well, Tom from Facebook says there should be a law that kids should be at least 13 years old before you can leave them home alone. I'm the only one on this one. I cannot be left alone, and I won't be left alone.
But a law would do anything.
My mom was my parents always had someone around. I need someone around, and maybe that's why I have separation anxiety disorder.
So you want a law to be in place?
I think, look, I don't want a law to legislate it because, again, economically it might be an issue. But I think before 13, I'm not comfortable with it.
All right.
I always need to be with someone. I can't be alone.
You're like, I need to reiterate that.
I need to tell everyone that. Coming up on DBL, actor, comedian, explorer, I chat with Rob Riggle about his exciting new show that has him crisscrossing the globe to solve the greatest mysteries around. It's like my dream job. Do not go away.
What about this job?
It's also my dream job. It's also my dream job. Two dream jobs. I can't be alone. I can't be alone.
We didn't talk about this road rage story that happened in LA.
Needed there to be a
and
hole.
basically,
I had a video
How do you know that?
No, I mean, I want to talk to you guys about it. There's a car that basically T-boned another car. I mean, I've seen road rage. I thought it was the worst. Where do you guys think the worst road rage is? I didn't think LA had too bad of road rage, but this car T-boned one and just dragged it.
New York taxi drivers.
I think they have road rage, but they just cut you off and keep moving.
They're mean, though.
Because they're going to get in that space, but they're not going to hit you. Nobody's actually going to hit you. They're pushing to the brake. They're skilled drivers, right? They'll be like, and just keep moving.
Very few accidents.
And I think in New York, because people are just like aggressive. So it's just like cut you off and go.
I opened the door in a cab when I lived in New York, and I opened it. I was going to go do a show, and a bicyclist came and ran right into my door.
Wow.
Like,
what happened? They just fell off?
No, he didn't go over. He I'm trying to do this without being great. Like, hit his crotch on his bike because it stopped, so he just went forward. And he was a tough dude. I know it hurt because he just kind of like walked it off. But I know he was hurt. That had to hurt.
On Uber, they let you know that you're getting out and be aware that there's a bike lane right next to you.
Yeah,
they tell you when they're dropping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was not New York in 2009.
We all go, ooh.
You can apply. You got road rage?
Yeah.
Tilt is good. I like tilt. Welcome back to DBL. Actor Rob Riggle is taking on a new mission to solve the world's greatest mysteries. Earlier, I talked with him about his new Discovery series that combines comedy with history. In today's Chatting with the Stars.
For centuries, the world's greatest mysteries have baffled the world's greatest minds. But you should never send a great mind to do a hero's job.
What the heck is going on around here?
He is Rob Riggle, global investigator.
Rob Riggle, welcome to Daily Blast Live. So your new show is my dream job. You are the modern day Indiana Jones. It looks like the graphic is even the same, searching for things like the Holy Grail and Atlantis. So I need to know what Rob Riggle's #1 thing to find would be. What would you most want to find?
I think it's got to be the Holy Grail,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
You know, we're talking about eternal life, if I can drink from it, which I did. I did find a cup, and I did drink from it. And now it's just a waiting game. We'll have to see.
That's hilarious.
Fingers crossed.
Did you feel different when you drank from it? Anything?
I did. I felt a little gassy.
Oh, that's awesome. Who knew that's what it would feel like?
So
that's
I don't.
Amazing. Now, in this series, you scuba dive, you rock climb, you run into snakes. Some people may not know, but I know you are a former Marine, and I mean Marine. How did your military training help you pull off this series?
Oh, there was a couple things that helped, probably the rappelling. Please don't let me die in this canyon. The scuba diving. Just being out in the elements. Solving mysteries, kind of what I do. You know, just a sense of let's get out there and see what happens.
Is there things you didn't want to do and had to talk yourself into?
There was a scorpion dinner that I had to really think about.
Yeah, that turns you gassy too, I heard.
I heard that too.
Sorry. I do want to know, what do you think was the most amazing, most surprising discovery you made while filming?
There's a lot of things around UFOs that I kind of went in a little more skeptical, and I came out a little more accepting of, you know what, there's a lot up there that we don't understand.
Rob Riggle, Global Investigator, premieres March 8th on the Discovery Channel. Rob, thank you so much for your service and for sharing all of your amazing stories with us at DBL Nation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. What a gem. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. If you're in the market for a new home this new year, like me, budgetologist Felicia Jones is here to help on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. Now, Felicia, as always, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like you write these specifically for me.
I know. I think it is. For
it is. Well, they help me out either way. Whether you're renting or buying, how can people financially prepare for a big move?
All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is be ready to spend more than expected. No matter how much you budget, you know, things will be overestimated. You may be eating out more because the new place may not be ready. Yeah. You're buying things to clean the old place, get into the new place. The next thing, if I could just say this over again, downsize, 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 and try to avoid storage costs. No matter what will happen, you'll have to pay for all of your stuff.
Right.
Either you're going to pay for it to be moved to your new place, or you're going to pay for it to go into storage, and storage can cost you up to thousands of dollars each year. And finally, track your finances before, during, and after. There are so many moving pieces when it comes to moving. So you want to make sure that you're tracking your finances so that you can put down deposits, you get deposits back, you're not paying utilities in 2 different places.
Thank you, Felicia, so much for being here. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-995-4089.
This touches home for you, am I right?
Yes.
Literally home. Talk to us.
Yeah, literally home. Well said.
Thank you.
You know, I was watching Deal Blast and I was like, she is speaking directly to me. I just moved at the beginning of this month, and I would say that I would call myself almost a minimalist in that, like, I didn't think I had that much stuff. You have way more stuff than you think you do. And then if you have a partner that also has things with them, it's going to be a lot more than you think. And the thing that she really said that really struck me was that you're going to be eating out a lot because your pots and pans are packed up.
Yep.
All your tin foil is gone, so you're going to be eating out a lot.
Totally.
And that's, you know, for 2 people to eat out, just a regular basic meal would be $25 if you guys both get something. So yes, definitely over budget, because you just don't factor those things in. Your life is going to be really disrupted for about a month.
You're all moved in now?
All moved in.
And I still haven't had an invite over?
The housewarming party, we talked about it yesterday.
Okay.
Not this month. Next month it's going down.
Okay, so remember June to invite me, because I need to not be alone.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you at the same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.